Would you please remain standing for the national anthem?
Hello everyone, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for Millard North High School's class of 1994. My name is Aaron McCain, and through some twist of fate, I'll be your first speaker this evening. My first order of business will be to justify the following introduction to my speech. With an overwhelmingly large class of over 500 conflicting personalities and identities, I'm afraid I don't have any amusing anecdotes that wouldn't leave some group feeling alienated. I'm not going to define the longest word in the dictionary for you, and I'm certainly not going to fill your minds with stories about how your memories will never die or the power of dreams. If you want reality sugar-coated into tiny digestible pieces, you'll simply have to listen to something else for the next few minutes. However, I was given this job because the majority of my senior class, who usually go unrecognized because they were not born with pom-poms or footballs in their hands, wanted me to share my point of view with our friends and family, and I intend to state what I perceive as the truth and then resume my role as a cap and gown amongst the masses. As I stand here before you all, my hypocrisy blowing in the wind, I find myself feeling as transparent as the rules and promises we've swallowed throughout the years. For 9 months, I have written and rewritten my speech, preparing to bombard you all with rants and raves about how the educational system has failed us. But now I realize that would make me nothing more than a hairy sellout. I'm sorry to break it to all you pseudo-anarchists out there, but to sit back and moronically chant that school, the government, or life has betrayed you, rather than actually taking action to correct that, is to simply accept your own ignorance and defeat. To idly sit back and allow the system to trample you down is not because you feel it's corrupt, is not glamorous, my friends, but an apathetic cop-out. We need to finally expose the stupidity of thinking it's cool to be stupid. Students of the world, unite! You have nothing to lose but your chains. This is a rallying cry that needs to be heard through the halls of Millard North High School and every other institution of learning throughout this nation. Admittedly, there is a faction of young people for which the current way is serving them fine, and deep in my heart I long for their happiness. But I must believe I'm not the only one who thinks things are going wrong. Why does my generation continue to play the game? It saddens me to watch my friends waste away the greatest years of their lives as slaves to unintangible and unexplainable ideals the society passed on to them with a smile. Parents, if you love your children, have them live and love every moment as if it were their last. Grasp onto life with both hands and never let go. Have them seize the day, or whatever cliche it is that they understand, but do not allow them to put their faith into materialistic objects that will only disappoint them in the end. Why does my generation pledge allegiance to ACT scores and grade point averages rather than friendship and actually living out your one and only existence? Why have we turned colleges into capitalistic status symbols to coordinate with our designer genes and convinced ourselves that one is so much more important than another, it justifies putting our families through financial turmoil? Why do we confuse the inane little numeric scribbles teachers put next to our names each quarter with intelligence? Friends, conformity killed the dinosaurs, and we're going to end up the Jurassic Generation X if we don't soon find a cure for our apathy. Although I must admit, many times in the last 4 years, I felt as though it would have just been easier to sit back, accept mediocrity, and just try to get by. Just shut up and play the game, Aaron, you've always told me. And hey, maybe that's not such a bad idea after all. For me to stand up here and pass judgment as to which route in life is justified and which is not would simply be for me to breed the conformity that I loathe so much, to allow my hypocrisy to blow in the wind. I only ask that each of you keeps in mind the inevitable slant that we do put on our memories. We tend to only hear and remember the success stories in life. Football games won, cute little high school lovers, star athletes. But there is always that other side of the coin that gets swept under the carpet. We tend to forget about the intolerance, the bigotry, the hatred, the guy who was tortured for looking a bit different than everyone else, the person who couldn't get a date for the prom, my friends who poured their hearts and souls into their academics only to be disappointed in the end, lonely people deemed social outcasts for no apparent reason, simply longing for someone to talk to each day. Isn't it strange, my friends, that in our senior video, only about 50 students were shown for 35 minutes, while 450 of you were left out? Are you all less worthy than cheerleaders, drill team members, and football players? Are your musical tastes and preferences unimportant because an individual decided that her opinion was the correct one for you? Apparently so, because you are all perfectly content to be swept under the carpet and forgotten. You cannot blame the athletes for the talents, my friends, but rather yourselves for allowing the situation to occur. It sickens me that 450 kids have allowed themselves to become second-class citizens, content to empower and pledge popularity to a small handful of students rather than growing the backbone to become their own people. When 10% of the population decides what the other 90% watches, listens to, wears, and deems important, it's called a tyranny, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly what this is. Why does the majority of a senior class swallow their pride and allow their agendas and opinions to be drowned out by a handful of students? From where I sit, anyone coming up here to tell you about unity, camaraderie, or how we're all Mustangs, simply put, is blind. I don't recall a warm and fuzzy nuclear family, but rather a group of confused and scared kids thrown together inside a great granite building. A group of kids forced to find their identities in an environment where individuality made you the immediate target of ridicule. Class of 1994, I implore you to examine the world around you and make decisions for yourself as to whether you believe it is working or not. Do not mindlessly accept mine or anyone else's philosophy, but rather adopt your own. Refuse to succumb or rebel against the norms of our society simply because you feel you should, but rather decide for yourself whether or not to defy the laws of tradition. For your own sake as well as mine, take back control of your lives and forge your own destinies. The greatest threat to our generation is apathy, ladies and gentlemen, and sheepish compliance with the game around us will only result in our eventual destruction. My friends, our time has finally come, and I pray each of you will burst out of our suburban incubators and actually make a difference in the world around us. In a life as short as ours, looking back can prove to be the most hazardous thing to your health, and you must make every action a heartfelt reflection of your values and ideas. And now, my friends, I have nearly reached the conclusion of my speech, and I have reached a personal crossroads for myself. I'm deeply puzzled, my friends and family, as to why it's okay to tell you to die for your country, die for oil in a foreign land, or die for democracy, but it's not okay for me to tell you to die for yourself, which is to say, to actually live for yourself. The hypocrisies of the world continue to blow in my face. I hope you all realize them as well as I do. You see, comrades, stub-a-dub will never die, and if to survive every day in this world you truly need, want, and love your fun, die for it.
My name is Makia House. Good evening, and here are your commencement announcements. Attention class of 1994, the doorways to your future will open immediately following commencement exercises. Please report directly to the hallways of life and proceed wherever your path may take you. Build all your roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and futures have a way of falling in mid-flight. The world out there is looking for a few good leaders to teach those who are up and coming. The Millard North graduation class of '94 was selected to fulfill this duty due to their qualifications of excellent leadership, positive attitude, and promise. Congratulations. Society support group will meet whenever help is needed. We realize that that everyone falls down and makes mistakes, and that feeling of inner strength isn't as strong as you would always like it to be. We welcome all new members because we realize that no one can get by without getting a little help from our friends. No, life is not as easy as someone making an announcement about it and everyone jumping up to support you. But we, the graduation class of '94, can overcome. In the musical Working, Studs Terkel gives us a view of the hard-working blue-collar class. One of the songs in the musical states, "If I could have been what I could have been, I would have been something. If what I could be had been left to me, I would have been something. Now it's just dreams that I'm stuck with. God only knows what I could have been." It is obvious to me that after seeing that nearly everyone who entered Millard North is leaving Millard North a graduate, Studs Terkel's song was definitely not written for us. We are not meant to look back and regret. We are meant to push forward and expect more. No, demand more. After all, we made it. It is up to us what our future holds. We should never let ourselves down because we all had a chance. In saying those words, we all had a chance, I think of those who are not with us today. And it doesn't really seem fair, does it? But as long as we keep in mind that those who we have lost are still with us in our hearts, we are never alone. With that in mind, we press on. We look back occasionally to think, wow, I have come so far. And know in your mind, I cannot stop now because I know I have so much further that I can go. Mom and Dad deserve our thanks for guiding us through these tough times. I'm sure I can speak for almost everyone I say that I could not have accomplished this much without them. Respect your parents, because even though you're all grown up now, you'll still need your parents to lean on every now and then. A poem called "Comes the Dawn" says it best. After a while, you learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't mean security. And you begin to learn that kisses aren't contracts, and presents, they aren't promises. You begin to accept your defeats with your head up and your eyes open, with the strength of an adult, not the grief of a child. With that in mind, I leave the class of 1994 with their final but useful word of the day. And the word of the day is endure, to keep on, last, continue in existence. After 4 years of hearing Nakia do the announcements, they were happy they did not have to endure any more words of the day. The seniors endured many hardships, struggles, and tribulations, but they endured. And you learn that you really can endure, that you really do have worth. And you learn and learn. With every goodbye, you learn.
Well, with pains of uncertainty and an enormous sigh of relief, we finally sit here as Millard North senior class of 1994. As some would say, on the brink of a new journey, a journey in which not a single one of us Parents and graduates alike will remain unchanged. A journey in which our highest hopes and our greatest challenges could be realized. Every mother and father plan for that day when their little baby will go off to college and become an adult. Some days hoping, no, most days hoping it would come a little bit sooner. Our parents have raised us to the best of their abilities, and now it is time to let our instincts take over and guide us into tomorrow. As our parents, you have given us a strong set of morals and values that we will hold on to for the rest of our lives. These morals and values will help mold every decision that we make. Back in the mid-70s, along with the bicentennial of our country's Declaration of Independence, amidst peace signs, bell-bottoms, and Vietnam, 547, as Dr. Payne and Mr. Dvorak would say, Mustangs were born. But the funny thing is that somehow all of us ended up right here at Millard North in the good old heart of the Midwest. But I don't believe in coincidence, and neither should you. As the senior class of 1994, we can honestly say that together we have learned the value of life. We've gotten to know each other for a reason. We've learned to respect each other for a reason. And for that reason alone, when one of us succeeds, a part of all of us succeed. And when one of us fails, we all feel that pain in some form or another. Within these past 4 years, 3 of our friends were taken from us. And we asked why it had to be them. Their lives weren't complete. But they all did accomplish exactly what they were put here to accomplish. Their job was to touch every single person whom they met with their own special personality and determination. Today, there's a place for Sarah Allen, Christine Bachman, and Russ Stapleton in our senior class and in our hearts. Senator Bob Dole told us in his eulogy to former President Nixon that you should never, ever be satisfied with success, and you should never be discouraged by failure. Failure can be sad, but the greatest sadness is not to try and to fail, but to fail to try. Philosopher and author Robert Fulghum tells us that all we really needed to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, we learned in kindergarten. We learned to share, to play fair, to clean up our own messes, and to learn some, and think some, and draw, and paint, and sing, and dance, and play, and work every day some. Fulghum says that wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but it was there all along in that sand pile in elementary school. But this sand pile of wisdom has grown so much farther, and now when our generation goes out to play in this sand pile, we will truly be holding hands with the world. With the guidance of our parents, teachers, family, and friends, we have truly completed a chapter in life. In each of our futures, wherever we may be and wherever life may take us, the lifelong friendships and lasting memories that we have made here at Millard North will be our link to the past. And as Fulghum says, from our first day in kindergarten, it's still true. No matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together. Congratulations.
On May 19th at Honors Night, we presented 404 scholarships to 160 of our graduating seniors. At this point, I'm asking that those scholarship recipients please stand, be recognized, and congratulations to you. Those scholarships. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Diana Faust, President of the Millard Board of Education. Mrs. Faust.
Thank you. I recently read a book called First Things First by Stephen Covey, and many of the things that he talks about in that book seemed appropriate today as we celebrate the end of one part of your life and the beginning of another. Covey says that to be fulfilled, it's necessary for us to live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy. When any one of these isn't met, the quality of life is eroded. To live refers to our physical needs, such as food, clothing, and shelter. In most cases, things your family has provided for you. Soon, most of you will begin providing more of those needs yourselves. To love means more than the romance portrayed in songs and movies. It means caring about others and their well-being. Most successful people have developed a sense of caring about the needs of others, and more importantly, they respond to those needs. They give back to the community. To learn. Opportunities to learn will be available all of your lives. Whether you take advantage of those opportunities is your decision. You will find that people are more interested in what you are willing to learn than what you already know. I think one of the most important traits of an educated person is being tolerant of others' ideas. People who continue to educate themselves understand that the opinions of others may be as worthwhile as their own. Finally, Stephen Covey talks about leaving a legacy, about having a sense of meaning and purpose in life. You aren't going to decide today how you're going to leave your mark on the world, nor should you. You have huge question marks in front of you, and you can take some time to find the answers. You have the luxury of knowing that a decision made today isn't for life, and that every decision you make won't be the right one. It happens to us all. On behalf of the Board of Education, I congratulate our graduates and their families. We're confident that you will make the most of what's ahead. We wish each of you the best on your venture to live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy.
This time, I present to you Dr. Ron Witt, Superintendent of Schools.
I, too, want to congratulate all the seniors on your accomplishments. You have excelled in so many ways at Millard North High School. Activities, athletics, band, debate, journalism, and the list can go on and on. And the scholarship winners that are printed in your program and were introduced by Dr. Payne truly speak for themselves. You've been outstanding in that area. I'm not sure what each of you will remember from your graduation ceremony, but I hope you take away from it a feeling of enthusiasm for what lies ahead for you. Graduation is a very special time in your life, and we hope you make the most of it. I see lots of promise and lots of potential in this auditorium today. Many of you are going on to college, others to full-time jobs. We think your teachers have prepared you well and that you've taken advantage of the opportunities your parents and your school have provided. But if you feel you haven't made the most of the high school years, you now have a chance to make up for that. The game isn't over yet. In fact, you're not even at the end of the first quarter. As Mrs. Faust said to you in her speech, just remember that no matter what your next step is, people will be as interested in what you're able and willing to learn as in what you already know. Don't let anyone tell you that these were the best years of your life. I hope they were enjoyable and profitable, but I hate to think that the best years of your life are behind you at the ages of 17 or 18. Be determined, believe in yourself, stretch yourself. The greatest power you have is the power to choose what you're going to make of your life, and I'm confident you'll make the right choices. We're proud of you, and I know you and your families are proud of you too. Oliver Wendell Holmes has a verse which is really your class motto. I think it sums up a lot about your graduation day and what's ahead of you. I find the greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. To reach the port, we must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it. But we must sail and not drift nor lie at anchor. Board members, this class has completed all the requirements of the Nebraska State Board of Education and the requirements of the Millard Board of Education and are entitled to their 1994 diplomas. To assist us with the passing out of the diplomas, we have 3 members of the Millard Board of Education, which I'd like to introduce to you. You've already met Diana Faust, our board president, Donna Thompson, the secretary of the board. Stand up. And Dr. Jay Matsky. Jay, would you stand up? Let's give them a round of applause. And also assisting with the diploma distribution, we're pleased to have with us Dr. Keith Lutz, Assistant Superintendent for Personnel and General Administration. Keith, would you stand? Dr. Payne, they're ready to receive their 1994 diplomas.
Thank you, Dr. Witt. At this time, as the junior marshals come forward, before we begin our presentation of diplomas, I want to thank the concert choir and Mrs. Nabity. Thank you very much. As well as the orchestra that was directed by Mr. Stan Ivey. Thank you. We're also asking that you not approach the stage to take pictures. We have 2 professional photographers who are positioned to take photographs as the graduates receive their diplomas. Also, please hold your applause until the total class has received its diplomas. At this time, we will begin. Carrie Helen Adair. Julie Marie Adrian. Heidi Renee Arts. David Nathan Allen. Jessica Lynn Allen. Susan Elizabeth Ames. Tanya Marie Anderson. Angela Anderson. Chad Anderson. Christopher W. Anderson. Julie Marie Anderson. Stacy Renee Andre. Brooke Margaret Antonowicz. Tracy J. Armiger. John Travis Backlund. Dina Michelle Bailey. Chad R. Baker. Adam T. Beal. Sharissa M. Beard. Heather Suzanne Beasley. Matthew Scott Beatty. Brian Todd Beck. Kelly K. Becker. Michelle Eve Beffa. Sybil R. Beglin. Regina T. Bellavia. Dawn Renee Bender. Lisa Ann Benning. Brian E. Bensinger. Kevin Bernardi. Jared D. Berry. Andres Bisanzoni. Dennis Patrick Billings. Carrie Michelle Benamou. Carrie Ann Bischoff. Tara H. Vitsos. Shannon Lee Bodie. Gregory Paul Bolton. Wendy L. Booth. Lisa A. Baumstein. Angela Darlene Breedenkamp. Jody Lane Bramer. Anne Michelle Brewer. Donald Anthony Briganti. Todd David Britson. Courtney Lynn Brown. Darren Scott Brown. Molly A. Brown. Scott William Brown. Brian Mark Brueggemann. Bryant Christopher Bull. Kevin Allen Bunger. Robert J. Bunger. Meredith Lynn Burke. Jamie Lynn Burnham. Jennifer Lee Burns. Jennifer Ann Burton. Gabriel James Butler. John Stephen Byrne. Stephen Benjamin Cassiopo. Andrea Karen Cade. Jason A. Kane. Scott Christopher Campbell. Mark A. Carlson. Sarah Duran Carlson. Mark Allen Karen. Todd Allen Carr. Kristen Aaron Carson. Amy Ruth Carter. Carrie Lynn Carter. Amy Marie Kassler. Corey C. Coughlin. Jennifer Lynn Chalupnik. Renee Lynn Chavez. Ryan D. Christensen. Joshua W. Cronick. Jamie Marie Sisler. Jason David Clapper. Donna Marie Clark. Christopher Clay. Lori Ann Coe. Brian T. Coleman. Nicole A. Collier. Sarah Rose Collins. Rodney Dale Combs. Daniel Christopher Conway. Sam Corbett. Bradley Branham Cordell. Mandy Lynn Corneely. Matthew Joseph Costanzo. Courtney Jill Coughlin. Jamie Ann Coughlin. Paul Joseph Covelo. Darren Tyler Cox. Scott M. Cranny. Martha Jo Crawford. Brahman Leon Joseph Creighton. Dwayne Michael Cruz. Rachel Ann Crouch. Nicole Ann Cumberland. Chad John Curtis. Lance W. Custer. Sonny Tennille Dainty. Robert E. Danielson. Julie Renee Dan. Jennifer Marie David. Heidi Lynn Dawes. Heather Lynn Deffenbaugh. Thomas James Dagnan. Gina Marie Deming. Devin Franklin Dennis. Eric Paul Dent. Andrew D. Santiago. Andrea Diane Deal. Rebecca Marie Dodd. Erin Patricia Dahl. Matthew C. Dahl. Patricia Ann Domansky. Amy L. Donahue. Heather Marie Donatelli. Ann Elizabeth Donahue. Brian Joseph Dooley. Joey Doherty. Catherine Christine Dowse. Colleen Reagan Dunn. Jeremy A. Earl. Lori Jo Easdale. Kimberly Sue Eastep. Daniel C. Egeling. Charlene Fadkey. Joseph Farnsworth. Aaron Lee Faustner. Andrea Stacy Felton. Matthew Ferguson. Aaron Aurora Farragutti. Julie L. Fisher. Samantha Renee Fisher. Christina Marie Fletcher. Jennifer Lee Forrell. Scott Franco. Zachary D. Frank. Nathan Cole Frazier. Dawn Ann Fredericks. Kate Ann Freeland. Heather Lynn Freeland. Thomas James Freeman. Timothy T. Fries. Chad William Frericks. Karen Tracy Friedman. Terry L. Fritsch. Jennifer Danielle Gallup. Heather Lynn Gambrell. Alicia Maria Garnica. Kara Lynn Gale. Joshua John Gehrig. Evie Gergson. Thomas L. Gibson. Melanie Michelle Gilbert. Tara L. Gilbert. Kara Shea Gilbreth. Katie Elizabeth Gilly. Dana L. Jalot. Jennifer Lynn Jalot. Julie Ann Marie Gittens. Melinda Lee Gleason. Melanie Elizabeth Goddard. Francisco T. Godinez. Leslie Faith Golbitz. David Jonathan Gunyon. Brian J. Goodbrake. Holly K. Graber. Kevin Scott Grant. Timothy Ray Grasmick. David P. Gray. Brian Green. Julie Greenhill. Chris Carl Grease. David Corwin Griffin Jr. Adam E. Graholski. Jennifer Lynn Grove. Julie Michelle Guida. Christina Lynn Gunn. Heather Ann Gust. Amy Marie Gustafson. Jason Bradley Hahn. Deborah Lynn Helemachek. Brandon James Hales. Wendy Jean Heyman. Robert Hamilton. James Patrick Hammond. Matthew David Haney. Jennifer Lindsay Hanf. Jill Marie Hankin. Adam R. Hansen. Eric Antone Hansen. Jason A. Harrell. Robin Renee Harris. Angela Sue Harrison. Allison K. Harold. Jeremy J. Harstick. Amy Sue Hartman. Jennifer C. Hass. Bradley Glenn Hay. Michelle Hayden. Anne Elizabeth Heaney. Susan Christine Hearn. Amber A. Haggerty. Courtney C. Haggerty. Nicole Ann Hegwood. Jason M. Heminger. Melanie Maxine Henderson. Brandon Thomas Hendricks. Don't go this way. Craig M. Hensley. Dan S. Hernandez. Alexander M. Herr. Daniel S. Harrington. Justin Michael Herron. Carrie Elizabeth Heeb. Mark Davis Hill. Joel Keith Hinsey. Laura Michelle Hiscott. Christopher G. Hicks. Stacy Lee Hofschulte. Dulcie Jean Holland. Jared Raymond Holmes. Andrew J. Holt. Samantha S. Hahn. James A. Haspadka. Nikia Shante House. Jason Michael Hausch. Anne Marie Hugg. Elizabeth Ann Hunter. Jeffrey Hunter. Jonathan Douglas Hirsch. Joshua L. Irwin. Amy Rose Ives. Michelle Marie Iwansky. Tiffany Ann Jakes. Melissa Ann Jacobs. Dean Gregory Jacobson. Elizabeth Ann Jacobson. Natalie Sue Yassa. Julie Ann Jasperson. Todd M. Jaworski. Kelly Ann Jensen. Stephanie Ann Jasso. Arthur C. Jetter III. Michael John Jeanette. Corey Scott Johnson. Gabe M. Johnston. Todd Robert Yoki. Coretta Edvanita Jones. Tracy Renee Juarez Ferris. Chad A. Justice. Angela Michelle Katsky. Ryan Douglas Carney. Catherine Ann Kearns. Rebecca Ann Kiesling. Octa Emerald Keene. Christopher R. Keenan. Anthony Kites. Evan Ross Keller. Aaron John Kirchhoff. Colleen Ann Kirsten. E. Thomas Kimsey. Shara Dawn Kindler. Elizabeth Ann Kinney. Brian M. Kirchhoff. Robert M. Kirchhoffer. Kelly Ann Kasicki. Olin D. Klein. Nathan Daniel Cloak. Christina Josephine Kohler. Daniel Brian Kratzer. Heather Ann Cryer. Amanda Noel Kruger. Tia M. Kruger. Stephanie Joe Kuchera. Wade Paul Kumke. Amy Christine Kunsaitis. Michael Todd Lacina. Jess L. Leibel. Douglas Lammers. Ruth Ann Lane. Robin Nicole Lang. Anna Michelle Larson. Brent Gilman Larson. Matthew P. Lataha. Ryan James Lehman. Christina Elizabeth Leary. Amanda Nicole Lee. Nicole Renee Lehan. Corey M. Leslie. Amber Lynn Lavere. Courtney Ann Lewis. Andrea M. Liberator. Shannon Michelle Limbeck. Allison Ann Lindjum. Elizabeth Ann Lindsay. Kimberly Ann Lipschutz. Bradley T. Lohman. Karen Michelle Lovelace. Jennifer Ann Lowe. Carrie Christine Lubers. Jason M. Lutkenhaus. Jolene Louise Lundgren. Jessica Lee May. Rachel Lynn Mines. Ryan Kenneth Manger. Kimberly Ann Marchese. Michaela Jo Marchese. Tiffany Nicole Mark. Jason E. Marshall. Mindy Lee Martin. Douglas E. Mason. Kristen Lynn Matson. Tim G. Maxwell. Matthew Jean McCauley. Molly R. McClure. Aaron N. McComb. Jerome Justin McDonald. Elizabeth C. McIver. Aaron M. McCain. Shannon Marie McMahon. Angela Noel Meyer. Ray Mraz. Ryan F. Metcalf. Christopher James Mirzuski. Allison Mae Miller. Derek Lee Miller. Heather Jean Miller. John Andrew Miller. Lisa Ray Miller. Melissa Marie Miller. Philip M. Malone. Nicole Mortel. Stacy Lynn Malachek. Timothy Byron Moore. Jason Daniel Moran. Elizabeth Lorraine Morey. Charles Kenneth Morrill. Robert S. Morrison. Michelle Marie Mosman. Brenda Marie Moss. Lynn Ann Munsinger. Anand Murthy. Carrie Ann Myers. Scott Tyson Nagler. James S. Nelson. Ryan Lee Nelson. William Michaels Nelson. Craig Allen Nervig. Matthew James Nessler. Julie Jean Nicholson. Jenny Rebecca Nielsen. William R. Norlam. Raymond Corey Novacek. Jennifer Lee Noyes. Brandon Paul Niffler. Nicole Annette Niffler. Lynn Christine Officer. Ryan Christopher Olson. Lee Andrew Olson. Creighton R. Omer. Jennifer Lynn Orcutt. David Forrest Ori. Shane M. Osmera. Jatesh Pai. Eric David Pike. Brian James Pakeser. Sam Payne. Sarah Marie Park. Amy Lynn Partouche. Stacy Lynn Partouche. Rupal Ashwin Patel. Diana Jean Patera. Trisha Elizabeth Paulson. Ryan James Paulson. Sean Michael Payne. Daniel J. Piers. Bryce T. Penke. Michael David Peters. Scott Christian Peterson. Heather R. Peterson. Joshua Stephen Peterson. Amy Lee Phillips. Nat Phillips. Jeremy D. Pitt. Ashley Ann Pixton. Benjamin Douglas Pogge. Eugene J. Potter. Joseph R. Potter. Lane Patrick Pulls. Christy K. Radomski. Brad A. Ralph. Lee M. Rankin. Brett Elliott Ray. Leanne Michelle Ray. Colette Renee Reinhardt. Megan C. Rice. Jason Edward Richart. Jason Ryan Richmond. Kara Jan Riley. Angela Marie Rinker. Javier Rivera. Amy Christine Roberts. Rachel Marie Robertson. Marisa Ann Romer. Jamie Levon Rose. Lisa Renee Rose. Christopher Mark Roseland. Shelley Ann Rosenbaum. Jamie J. Rosito. Regan R. Rook. Jason Todd Ruig. Patricia Ruiz Campa. Howard M. Ryan Jr. Bethany Ann Riker. Tara Lynn Sabag. Matthew Brian Sane. Kenji J. Sakota. Michael A. Sandoval. Jamie Marie Schell. Angela Marie Schemp. Lisa Dawn Schlichtemeyer. Bryson L. Schmidt. Corey Scoville. Scott James Schukart. Ryan Allen Schuler. Deborah Catherine Schultz. Aaron Casey Sears. Jason M. Severson. April Ann Sewell. Jason Michael Shanahan. Christopher M. Shannon. Julie Morgan Shaw. Rebecca May Sheffield. Ken Shepard. Stephen J. Shepard. Steve Jung Han Shin. Erin Elizabeth Shermang. Shifra Zipporah Schregel. Robert William Sizer. Ellison Lee Skid. Corey Scomo. Shay Smallwood. Amber Lynn Smith. Holly K. Smith. Daniel Keith Sorensen. David Wallace Sorensen. Michelle Renee Susi. Michael Spade. Julie Patricia Stabno. Courtney Ann Steele. Shane Christian Stevenson. Brian E. Stevens. Renee M. Steventon. Matthew Scott Stiggy. Eric Mark Stoltzman. Paul Richard Stouter III. Chad A. Stromness. Kara Nicole Servarik. Jill Lynn Swanson. Andrew Lewis Swersick. Carolyn Lene Taggart. Tiffany Jane Tarr. Kristen Marie Tennant. Christina Louise Thomas. Jeremy Thomason. Benjamin Thompson. Harold P. Thompson. Deborah Lynn Thompson. Matthew E. Thurber. Kelly Suzanne Tischauer. Wendy Sue Timberlake. Matthew D. Tim. Luke Jerome Tipler. Alan Scott Tipp. Heather Lynn Tomsek. Matthew Paul Topping. Heather Ann Tunick. Barry Michael Turgeon. Theodore Brent Ewell. Jennifer Ann Underwood. Justin Todd Unruh. Brett Dwayne Updegraft. Jill Ann Valenti. Christopher S. Van Horn. Elizabeth Van Tilburg. Janae Rochelle Vaughn. Jeff Vaughn. Eric J. Vigstow. Anthony G. Vincent. Jeff Vincent. Jacqueline Joy Vasica. Raina Ann Wallace. Thomas Ashley Waller. Ryan David Wand. April Michelle Warford. Dawn Rochelle Warwick. Rebecca Lynn Wadier. Scott J. Weber. John B. Wieland. Lynn Marie Welch. Wendy S. Wheeler. Paul Wayne Whitworth. Danielle Lee Warlow. Brenda Grace Wick. Aaron P. Wilds. Andrew G. Will. Beth Ann Williams. Matthew Scott Wilson. Jane Marie Winkle. Casey A. Wolf. Jonathan Paul Wolf. Beth Ann Wood. Angela Lee Wright. Emily Marie Wyant. Holly Marie Yepma. Corey Vanell Zetterman. Andrew Scott Zimmerman. Stephanie Catherine Zito. Dana M. Zucker. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1994.